We can all find our true purpose and achieve our life goals when we prepare ourselves adequately. It is when we meet opportunities well prepared that the wheels of success begin to turn on our path to prosperity. And in the same way, each of us can prepare Jamaica for the opportunities to grow and prosper. Hello, I'm Arroyo Eubanks and welcome to another edition of Jamaica Magazine. Stay with us and find out how the Jamaica Mortgage Bank is helping to provide affordable housing solutions for you. We'll also show you how the JIS has been providing support to a vulnerable group in one Manchester community. We also have some info to help you stay Chick-V free. It all begins right now.
Health Minister, the Honorable Dr. Fenton Ferguson, will address the nation on Sunday, September 28 on this station. Dr. Ferguson will provide an update on the Chikungunya virus and the government's response. That's a broadcast to the nation by Health Minister, the Honorable Dr. Fenton Ferguson, this Sunday, September 28 on this station.
Provision of adequate and affordable shelter for all is a major goal for the government. Among the agencies helping to fulfill this goal is the Jamaica Mortgage Bank. Learn more about the JMB in this next feature.
Accountability, integrity, and excellence are among the core values that govern the Jamaica Mortgage Bank, JMB. And since its inception in 1971, the state-owned institution has been facilitating interim financing for developers who provide affordable housing solutions.
I've always said to people, we are the best-kept secret in town. At one point in our history, the Jamaica Mortgage Bank was responsible for 40% of the housing starts in Jamaica. We were the only player in town that offered interim financing for housing development. We financed about 50 to 60 projects through the length and breadth of Jamaica.
Once a private limited company, the JMB evolved into a statutory body in 1973. The bank now falls under the Ministry of Transport, Works and Housing. The organization is governed by a board of directors that is responsible for the formulation of policies. The board reports to the relevant government minister who has portfolio responsibility for the bank. The general administration of the bank is undertaken by the management team headed by the general manager. The JMB has two broad objectives: to foster the development of housing island-wide and develop an active secondary mortgage market. And these objectives are carried out in the bank's core functions.
One is through what we call the primary market, and what that is that we provide interim construction housing finance to developers who are interested in developing housing primarily in the middle market. Secondly, we also facilitate home ownership through the secondary mortgage market, where we provide a pool of funds to financial institutions, primarily the credit unions. They then unlend those funds to potential homeowners at an affordable or competitive rate. And thirdly, we administer on behalf of the government of Jamaica what is called the Mortgage Indemnity Insurance, which comes about through the Mortgage Indemnity Insurance Act, where we insure the upper limit of a mortgage that a financial institution is willing to lend, thereby allowing the mortgagor or the potential homeowner to have a very small deposit.
The bank may also guarantee loans made from private investment sources for building development, lend money on security to be used for the construction of premises for private residential purposes or of a commercial industrial nature, and provide financial advice and assist in obtaining managerial, technical, and administrative services for persons engaged in building development in Jamaica. The JMB facilitates, through specific financial institutions, the on-lending to potential homeowners at a competitive rate.
The secondary mortgage market works perfectly in a low interest rate environment, where the financial institutions can unlend the money that we provide to the potential homeowner at a very competitive rate. So what we have done at the Jamaica Mortgage Bank is to revisit the model of the secondary mortgage market so that we can achieve the same objective, however, use it a different model.
The bank has been administering the Jamaica Mortgage Insurance Program since the early 1970s. Under the provisions of the Mortgage Insurance Act, the bank can insure loans that are made by approved financial institutions to the purchaser of residential dwellings, residential lots, commercial buildings, and agricultural properties. The JMB is working on legislation that will see purchasers finding a lower deposit on their purchase.
Potential homeowners have to come up with anywhere between 5 and 15% of down payment depending on the financial institution. As we speak, the government of Jamaica has tabled new legislation or revised legislation of the Mortgage Indemnity Insurance Act to facilitate even a lower down payment as low as 3%.
Throughout the years, thousands of Jamaicans, as a result of the JMB's financial involvement, have been able to acquire houses. In fact, in the 70s, the bank played a major role in the provision of temporary and long-term financing for the construction of houses throughout the island. Interim financing was provided to developers to construct over 2,000 houses in 10 housing schemes. In the 80s, the bank changed its focus and began upgrading squatter settlements so as to provide residents with reasonable modern amenities and legal ownership of the land. The bank also provided rural home improvement and mortgage loans and financed the construction of 1- and 2-bedroom houses, which were sold to National Housing Trust NHT contributors at a low price. In a bid to ensure that all Jamaicans are provided with affordable housing solutions, the JMB continues to find avenues in which the organization is able to expedite its lending process. And it is with this view that the organization has placed greater emphasis on the granting of interim construction loans for the financing of house construction and serviced lots.
We have about 3 government agencies in Jamaica that focus on housing solution. We have the National Housing Trust that primarily work with their contributors and lend monies to their contributors for middle to low income housing. We also have the HAJ that focusing on low income and social housing. And then there is the Jamaica Mortgage Bank. We believe that there is a void in the middle market, anywhere between $8 million and $15 million. And that's where we primarily focus on with developers who are willing to develop housing solution in that middle market. In addition, we know some of our competitors in the financial institutions will lend money to developers. However, it is well known in the market that the Jamaica Mortgage Bank brings additional value to any project, which includes project management as well as project monitoring.
In the St. Andrew area, the Oak Ridge, Riviera, and Meadowbrook Oasis are 3 developments that have been financed by the JMB.
I really appreciate Jamaica Mortgage Bank coming in at a time when we really needed their assistance. We've been in the business for over 5 years and we were feeling the economical crunch as well. So they came in at a time that we really needed them, and from now on going forward, that's going to be the bank of our choice.
Still in the St. Andrew area are housing solutions that will provide the average Jamaican with an affordable option. Kings Manor, the colleges, and Long Mountain Country Club are developments that have been constructed through financing from the JMB.
I would certainly recommend the Jamaica Mortgage Bank to any developer, right? The interest rate is competitive, and I find them friendlier than the standard bank.
In respect of Jamaica Mortgage Bank, the greatest benefit, I believe, to the developer is the fact that they are extremely knowledgeable in the building industry itself. The Jamaica Mortgage Bank seems to understand and works with you rather than, let's say, a commercial bank that will stick by the letter of the loan. The mortgage bank has flexibility.
Over in Portmore, the Jamaica Mortgage Bank has made strides. Several houses have been constructed in Garveymead, Marine Park, Westport and Cumberland. In fact, these solutions were some of the earlier houses that the bank financed. Discovery Point and Greenwich Estate in St. Anne and Stonebrook Vista in Trelawney were also financed by the JMB. The bank will continue its thrust to finance safe and affordable housing for Jamaicans island-wide.
The Jamaica Mortgage Bank has seen some of its best days. It is our hope at the Jamaica Mortgage Bank that we will get back there. Some of the things that we need to do is to be self-funded. We need to be an autonomous and standalone organization where we have the ability to unlend monies to developers and cooperatives so that they can in turn lend those monies at a competitive rate to facilitate housing solutions for all Jamaicans.
The Jamaica Mortgage Bank, stimulating the housing industry 1970 and onwards.
You never hear so time is money.
Easy driver. Well, no minimum man and taxi driver drive so bad. Why him have to drive so hard? Me not gonna make you kill off me and me picnic them.
One stop driver. Make her come off this bus. Me say stop.
Me coming with you. The rest of not take chance within a life. Lord of mercy. That could have been us.
And look how we want the money.
Passengers, your safety is in your hands. Say one-stop driver and get off if the driver is speeding, overtaking recklessly, and not obeying the rules of the road. Don't give away your life. It is too precious.
Education remains the best tool to empower, uplift, and create a better standard of living. It's even more important for young people who are at risk or just find themselves in difficult circumstances. It's for this reason the Jamaica Information Service adopted the Mount Olivet Home for Boys in Manchester, providing mentorship and supporting their education.
5 years on and still going strong. The relationship between the Mount Olivet Home for Boys and the Jamaica Information Service remains a source of positive influence for the young wards of the state. The JIS adopted the home in 2009, and since then, the staff have stayed true to the agency's mission to make a difference in the lives of the boys and ensure they have a good chance of becoming successful adults. To that end, the JIS has focused, in part, on education. And as the summer of 2014 drew to a close, the team of writers, photographers, and technical personnel, led by the agency's CEO, journeyed to Mount Olivet bearing gifts. Their mission? To deliver school supplies and spread some love. Smiling faces, warm hugs, and pleasant greetings. Happy wards at the Mount Olivet Boys' Home in Manchester welcomed the books and uniforms brought to them through the kind sponsors who partnered with the JIS. The boys received bags from Johan Blake's Why Be Afraid Foundation and Joseph's, shoes from Sammy's Shoe Store, and books from Fontana and Kingston Bookshop. The home also received food items from Grace Foods and Lasco, curtains and fabric from Pink's, juices from Tradewinds, chicken from Caribbean Broilers, and paint from Edgechem, which also presented a check for $10,000. But the day's memorable moments involved more than just the handing over of donations. The JIS team got busy, ironing new uniforms, painting, and general cleaning.
Oh, yes.
The workday in August is one of 3 annual visits organized by the JIS Mount Olivet Boys Home Committee. Team members also plan and execute fundraisers among staff to support the effort. And the board and staff at the home are always grateful. Dan Harriott is Mount Olivet's assistant director.
We look forward to having you each year, and we want to say that without you we are not able to do it, and we're saying that JIS family, we thank you for considering us at all times and for making it such a big event.
Buoyed by the positive response and the sheer joy of giving back, the agency's production director Anthros Campbell grabbed the chance to motivate the boys to do their best in school. And as a trained teacher, her advice was on point.
Remember now that studying is very, very important. Get your timetable ready, so you should know how many hours you're going to be doing each day in what subject. Studying things sometimes can be really difficult. Some people, you read and you read again and you say, what is this saying? Oh, this is what this is saying. Or I'm doing math, the way to do that is to practice it. You have to practice, 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 practice. For the biology and the literature, you have to read and interpret it. What is it saying? Oh, I think write it down. What we write, we retain more what we write.
In addition to pep talks and school supplies, the JIS also provides mentorship for the boys. In between visits, staff members stay in touch with their mentees by telephone and email, providing that one-on-one connection. The JIS at the Mount Olivet Boys Home, sharing the love as it continues to inspire, motivate, and develop the nation's youth.
If you still haven't gotten all your child's textbooks or want to help others with theirs, the JIS Book Exchange program remains open. Donate, exchange, or share textbooks that you no longer need, whether they are new or used. For infant, primary, high, or even university students, exchange or share your books. Pass them on to those that need them. Drop them off at JIS's head office on 58A Halfway Tree Road or email pr@gis.gov.jm to make arrangements for drop-off. For further information, contact the Public Relations and Marketing Department at 9291919 or 926359024. Join the mission and be a part of the JIS Book Exchange Initiative.
You've got to start at ABC.
Health Minister, the Honorable Dr. Fenton Ferguson, will address the nation on Sunday, September 28 on this station. Dr. Ferguson will provide an update on the Chikungunya virus and the government's response. That's a broadcast to the nation by Health Minister, the Honorable Dr. Fenton Ferguson, this Sunday, September 28 on this station.
Chikungunya has been in the news a lot, but people still have many questions. So the Health Ministry has ramped up its public education campaign, and to support that, we put together a feature on ChikV Facts. Take a look.
According to the World Health Organization, chikungunya is a viral disease which is transmitted to humans by infected Aedes aegypti mosquitoes. After being bitten, it takes between 4 to 7 days for symptoms to appear. The main ones include high fever and severe joint pain, usually in the lower back, ankles, knees, or wrists. Infected persons may also experience joint swelling, rash, headache, muscle pain, nausea, and fatigue. Although chikungunya does not often result in death, joint pains and stiffness can last for months and even years. It may become a source of chronic pain and disability, resulting in the individual being unable to attend school or work. It is advised that anyone experiencing symptoms of chikungunya should visit their doctor or the nearest health center immediately. The first outbreak of chikungunya was in southern Tanzania in 1952.
Then, in 2013, the French part of St. Martin reported the first confirmed case in the Caribbean and Latin American region. Since then, it has spread to approximately 28 countries and territories in the region, with more than 5,000 cases confirmed by mid-July 2014. Chikungunya has also been identified in nearly 40 countries in Asia, Africa, Europe, and the Americas. There is no specific treatment for the chikungunya virus, nor is there a vaccine, so treatment is directed primarily at relieving the symptoms. During this period, infected persons should ensure that they get plenty of rest, drink enough fluid to prevent dehydration, and take the medication prescribed by their doctors. Mosquitoes that bite infected persons will become infected and are likely to spread the virus when they bite other persons. So it's important that we take measures to protect ourselves from being bitten. We can start by identifying and reducing possible mosquito breeding sites.
Ensure that once a week we inspect our homes, schools, business places, churches. This mosquito is a day-biting mosquito, and it lives in and around where people live and congregate. Therefore, we want to ensure that the water that is settling is removed. The message of scrubbing the flower vases carefully, the PET containers with water, ensuring that old tiles are emptied, tins are punched with holes before they are discarded, are still applicable for control of the chikungunya virus spread.
Other measures include covering the body as much as possible by wearing long-sleeved clothing and using insect repellent containing DEET. As for those traveling to countries with confirmed cases of chikungunya,
the main advice is to prevent mosquito bites. We also say, look at how you are clothed. Try and protect your exposed skin. So it's the wearing of light-colored clothes, wearing long sleeves, pants if necessary, socks. Also, because the mosquito is still there, it is to ensure that persons should sleep under a mosquito net.
the Ministry of Health has been putting measures in place for more than 2 years in anticipation of the chikungunya virus reaching our shores. In fact, it was the ministry's heightened surveillance system that detected Jamaica's first imported confirmed case in mid-July.
It is something that is more favorable for any country when the first case that you recognize is imported, because then you can take the containment measures, meaning that you are ensuring that you limit their contact with any mosquitoes by caring for them under a net, limiting their movement and doing the vector control. We're also ensuring that at our points of entry, when visitors return to the island from any of the countries where transmission is occurring, that we alert them to the fact that if they display any signs and symptoms, they should check with their doctors or any of our health facilities.
Hi there, I'm Andrea Chisholm with your JIS News of the Week. The Health Ministry was busy this week keeping tabs on the chikungunya virus. Health Minister Dr. Fenton Ferguson assured the country that the lower number of confirmed cases of chikungunya versus the high number of suspected cases was normal in countries affected by the virus. He said many of the persons experiencing flu-like symptoms may not be infected with chikungunya.
Some of them, again, it is not necessarily chick-V, because this is the time of the year when we have flu, when we have dengue. And let me also reveal that the lab tests can also confirm both dengue and chick-V.
Minister Ferguson also urged Jamaicans to play an active role in the fight against mosquito-borne diseases. The Employment Flexible Work Arrangements Miscellaneous Provisions Act was passed in the House of Representatives this week. It will now head to legislators in the Senate for their consideration.
And I wish to assure this Honourable House that we will be moving with the necessary alacrity to implement where practicable the recommendations and suggestions. In addition, Mr. Speaker, I wish to reiterate to this House our commitment, our very strong commitment, to intensify the public education campaign surrounding this bill.
The Flexi Work Bill will help to enhance national productivity, create more jobs and grow the economy. Under the legislation, there will be no set 8-hour work day. All 7 days will be considered possible normal work days, and employees and their bosses can decide which of those days and shifts will make up the 40-hour week. And the House of Representatives also approved the Customs Amendment Act, paving the way for the implementation of a system to speed up the movement of goods through the ports. Finance Minister Dr. Peter Phillips said the amendments coincided with the implementation of an updated version of the automated system for customs data. The system is being implemented over the next 2 years at a cost of $4 million. The Executive Board of the IMF announced this week that it has formally completed its review of Jamaica's performance under the Extended Fund Facility for the April to June quarter. Jamaica will now receive $68.8 million more from the multilateral agency, bringing total disbursements under the arrangement to $483.2 million. Finance Minister Dr. Peter Phillips, meanwhile, is confident that Jamaica will also pass the 6th IMF test, a review of the country's performance for the July to August period.
The 6th quarterly review, the due date, which is the target date, is next Tuesday. So all the signs point positively.
Government signed a $50 million agreement with the World Bank this week to strengthen the business environment and facilitate private sector investments. The initiative, dubbed the Foundations for Competitiveness and Growth Project, will be implemented by the Planning Institute of Jamaica over the next 6 years. It forms part of the World Bank's country partnership strategy with Jamaica.
It will provide resources for private businesses, private firms, to undertake feasibility or pre-feasibility studies in relation to strategic investment projects that they may be embarked upon.
Meanwhile, the University of the West Indies UWI-MONA and the Biotech R&D Institute also signed a memorandum of understanding on Tuesday to improve the quality of scientific research in Jamaica. The partnership will help to generate income, train students in science and technology, and reduce government funding to the UWI.
It's a splendid example of the type of partnership between academia and industry that is needed to drive innovation and wealth creation. The results of partnership in research and development in science also opens the possibility of export earnings.
And steps were also taken to boost the capacity of communities across the island. This as the United States Agency for International Development provided $195,000 in grants to implement different projects under the second phase of the Community Empowerment and Transformation Project COMET 2.
To promote community-driven crime prevention activities and support community-based projects. We anticipate the grants will create many ripples in support of our goals and objectives under COMET 2.
COMET 2 is a community crime prevention program that supports the Ministry of National Security's Unite for Change campaign. And those were just some of the stories making news of the week. I'm Andrea Chisholm.
And that's it for today's magazine program, but keep the link. Tell us what you thought of the show. Send an email to jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm or hit us up on Twitter @JISNews. Also, click on our website, jis.gov.jm, for the very latest government information. On behalf of the team here at the JIS, I'm Arroyo Eubanks, inviting you to join us again tomorrow for more. Thanks so much for watching. Until then, take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.